Let's do this. If you are new to the channel, my name is Mark. This is Toast Dragon Fantasy, where I talk about gardening. And today, it's here. I think I'm taking the rite of passage for any booktuber, because today I'm doing a book haul. I'm doing a real life, bona fide book haul of the books that I have picked up over the last 2 or 3 months, I would say. I have had I've managed to get these in a variety of ways. I haven't stolen any. So without further ado, I guess it's time to have a look at what I've procured. The first book that I picked up is God Blind by Anna Stephens. This is a book that I've mentioned 1 or 2 times on other videos. It was one of the books that I had on my most anticipated releases video for summer 2017. I also mentioned it on the Media Freakout tag. This is the story about 2 neighbouring kingdoms who have a fragile peace with one another. That peace is threatened when the king of one of the 2 kingdoms, his queen dies, and that leaves the king unable to fulfil his kingly duties and leaves his kingdom vulnerable, and I imagine the other kingdom will now take advantage of this tragedy and try and take over the invulnerable kingdom. So that is God Blind by Anna Stephens. I know I'm not one for sexy book covers, but I mean that's good. That's a solid 8 out of 10. Can I put them where I can see them? Yes, that's a good idea. Dennis, you're gonna have to move. Right, what's this? Next one. This is Traitors Blade by Sebastian de Castiel. I came across this book on Kitty G's channel. She's absolutely raved about this book, so I thought I would give it a go. As far as I'm aware, it is set in, well, it's kind of a Three Musketeers type of book. I think they get up to those kind of escapades, full of intrigue and royal conspiracy and commas. So yeah, Traitors Blade. It's a fairly short book for a first book, so I will probably get through this very quickly. Now, the other book, fell on the floor. The other book that I have Kitty G's channel to thank for is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. Now, this is obviously, well, very highly acclaimed fantasy book. The main reason I've picked up this one is because of its Asian sort of backdrop. I believe it's set in kind of an Asian-esque setting, and one of the ideas that I've had for my own writing involves an Asian-esque setting. So I'm considering this research as well as pleasure. I believe it involves an emperor who is dying or has just died, and I imagine it will explore the fallout of that emperor's passing and how the balance of power will shift and things like that. Very intrigued to see what the fuss is of this book. Next we have The Daylight War by Tilly Brett. Now, if you know my channel at all, you will know that this is my favourite ever book series. However, I don't have all the books in hardcover or physical copy right now, because for a long time I read pretty much everything on Kindle, so I'm slowly getting through those Kindle books that I absolutely loved and turn them into physical copies. This is the 3rd book in the Demon Cycle, all about demon fighting. There's these demons that hunt the nights, which humans are terrified of, and it's all about humankind's struggle to fight back against the demons. But of course, it doesn't just involve them fighting the demons, it will eventually escalate into them fighting amongst themselves as well. So I can't say anything other than wonderful things about this series. Give it a go if you love reading. The next book we have is Ship of Magic. Yeah, Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. This will be the 4th book of hers that I've read. I have read the Farseer trilogy, the original 3 Fitz books. This tells the story of what are known as live ships, and these are ships that effectively, I suppose, come to life once 3 generations of the same family have died on the decks of that boat. So once that has happened, the ship comes to life, and once that happens, it has the necessary qualities to navigate a perilous route, and at the end of this perilous route is some, I think it's Wizardwood, yeah, Wizardwood, Okay, so they need these live ships basically to cultivate this wizard wood, and I think it follows the story of a girl who's just about waiting for her family ship to quicken, and once it quickens it will then be able to do the route. So that is Ship of Magic. It is huge. I did not realise it was this big when I bought it, so it will not be a fast read, but I'm looking forward to it immensely. Then we've got two books by the same author but under different names. So we've got Lords of the Bow by Conrad. This is a historical fiction book. It is set in the time of Genghis Khan, another kind of Asian influenced story. Well, he's an Asian hero, I suppose. You know, a historical figure who, I think he alone has had the single most amount of land out of any single historical figure in history. His empire stretched farther than Rome, than Egypt, than Greece, than the British Empire. This book follows him and his adventures, and I don't know a lot about Genghis Khan, so really looking forward to this. So that's Con Eagledon. He has also written this book, Dorian, Empire of Salt, but he's written it under C.F. Eagledon. He's written it under a different name because this is fantasy and that is historical fiction, so I imagine that's why he's done it. This is another one that I featured on my summer schooling releases video, which I'll link to somewhere if you would like to check that out. It tells the story of the city of Dorian. You've got a group of misfits who are attempting to overthrow the establishment, and I suppose it's all about them and how they interact with one another and how they, I suppose, eventually win the city of Dorian. Right, now these next two are from the same series. We've got Ancillary Sword by Anne Leckie, and we have its sequel. Wait, no, that's wrong. Ancillary Justice is the first, and Ancillary Sword is the second book? That is the second book. I'm getting really mixed up. Goodness me, this is highly unprofessional. I'm very sorry. Ancillary Justice tells the story of Breck, who was a ship, and this ship was made up of obviously the main ship, but it also had segments, about 1,000 segments. She was all of those segments, and those segments could go and separate, and they could go anywhere throughout the galaxy. So she could basically be everywhere at once. Now she's down to just one of those segments. Her main ship is gone as well, so she's now just effectively one person, and it's all about her adjusting to this new life. It's got a lot to do with obedience, I suppose, and what it takes to be obedient, and loyalty and betrayal and all kinds of things like that. I'm not a huge sci-fi reader, but this was unbelievable. I think it is my favourite sci-fi book ever. So I've read this one, and I haven't yet read its sequel, Ancillary Sword. Oh, I think I'll get around to this one fairly soon. And then the final book we have is Court of Broken Knives by Smith Spark. This is another one that I featured in my summer releases video. I think it has similar themes to Dorian. I think they're both quite similar-ish type stories. So I'm very interested to see how they do it differently, what they do differently, which one works better. I might do some kind of comparison video actually on them, but we'll see. So, Court of Broken Knives by Anna Smith Spark. Oof, that was a satisfying thump. Right, there we have it then. They are my 10 books featured in my very first book haul on this channel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have you read any of these books? Would you like to read any of these books? Not trying to influence you at all. If you enjoyed today's video, please do give the video a thumbs up, because that will tell me how well it has done. If you're new to the channel, if you've only just discovered me today, or if you only just discovered me in the last few days, because I've had a bit of a surge off the back of my very surprising win during the Booktubeathon Awards. That was weird. That was a weird feeling, that. But the support since has been quite overwhelming actually. So some of you have come off the back of that. So hello. But yeah, if you have only just discovered me today, check out some of my other videos, and if they impress you, if you like what you see, then subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified when more BookTube, AuthorTube, and Skit type content come your way. That is all I have time for you today. So with that being said, my name is Mark. This is Toast Dragon Fantasy, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye.